Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Listen, I'm telling y'all, I'm not sure where the weeks is going, where the months is going. Here it is, July 17th. We were just saying happy 4th of July, right? Matter of fact, we were just saying Merry Christmas. But nonetheless, happy Monday. Welcome to another session of Prayer for Marriages with yours truly, Marcia Baker, and your girl, Evangelist Nikki, my co-host, my partner in crime. We're Thelma and Louise. So listen, you're in for a treat on tonight. We're going to pick your brain, and we're gonna pick your brain, and we're gonna pick your brain. But before we get started, I want you all to just do a favor.
Your
Go
girl
ahead and share
Evangelist
this
Nikki,
out.
your brain, and we're gonna
If
pick
you're
your brain,
on
and we're gonna pick your brain.
if you're on YouTube, share it. If you're on Facebook, share it. Tonight we have a hot topic that we want to discuss. Tonight, trust issues in relationships. And let me tell you, we're going to learn some stuff tonight. And I say we, because as I was doing my research, I learned stuff, and I'm sure as Evangelist Nikki was doing hers, she learned stuff. And to tell you the truth, I'm learning stuff about me as well. So I don't want you guys to think that we're just doing this and we're not learning anything. It's just we're just trying to teach you stuff, and because we got it all under control. No, we don't. All right. So we're gonna start off tonight, and I just want Evangelist Nikki to come in and greet, and then we're gonna get our session started. All right. So we're talking about trust issues in relationships. Go ahead, Evangelist Nikki, and greet
Happy
the
Monday,
people.
happy Monday. Good to be back. Good to be back. Friends, family, listeners, near and far, whatever media you're on platform, it is good to be back. I appreciate you all loaning us your ear tonight. And I know this is something all of us, if every human being, as long as you are human, you can relate to some form of trust. Trust, right? It might be an issue, you might be overcoming, you might be going through trust issue, but we all can relate some way, somehow, where trust has been broken at some point in our relationship. So this topic, it might trigger some folks because of what we might be saying. You're not there yet, but it's a journey and it's a process, and it starts with
Right.
us. So take it with a grain of salt. It might not apply to you now, but I promise you, when you listen to it again, if it's not registering, don't tune us out. Just hear us until the end, because eventually it might make sense to you. And that's what we're here for, to help each other. And as Evangelist said again, we are not expert in it. We all have hurt. I have been hurt. Might just have been broken, right? But through work and self-awareness and loving self and appreciating self, I get to take responsibility to be able to be healed from that issue and realize, listen, we're all here to help each other. So the more we gain knowledge, we don't want to keep it to ourselves. So I don't want y'all to keep it to yourself. Please share. Tell a friend, phone a friend, call a friend. Let's sit in, let's have a chat. Let's have a dialogue tonight. Trust issue. What causes it? And is it really the issue in the relationship, or is it a symptom of what's going on in the relationship? That's one of the burning questions tonight, because a lot of time it's easy for us to label. It's easy for us to say, yeah, oh yeah, I want a separation because I don't trust him. We got trust issue. We put it under this big umbrella. And to me, it's a cop out, so to speak. Y'all understand me, because when you get to the root cause, trust is always a secondary issue. It's never the primary issue in a
Right.
relationship. Until we can get to the root, then your trust issue will be resolved. And 95% of the time, that trust issue, yes, that man looking at you in the mirror, that finger pointing back at you, that's where the root cause normally come from. So let's get in, let's dig in tonight, evangelist. Let's get it
Oh
cracking tonight.
gosh. Let me tell you something. I'm really excited about this topic because we will be surprised of how many people are dealing with trust issues. And so as I was looking over some stuff today, doing some research, and I found a research that was just done June 2023, and it says what makes you lose trust in someone, right? What causes you to lose trust, right, in someone? And we know when to gaining trust is easy, but once it's lost and to be regained it's a process, right? It's not an easy task. It doesn't just come back boom like that, right? So he said, what makes
It's
you lose
work.
trust in someone, right? What makes you lose trust? Now, trust issues are often connected to negative experiences in the past. So, what type of negative experience have you experienced now to cause you to have trust issues? Being let down, right? That's one,
Yes.
right? That's one. And we're just going to give you a couple. And listen, this topic is not going to be just for 1 week. I don't think it's going to be for 1 week because of the topic itself, trust. Because when we say we trust something, that means we're wholly and solely put our entire, like we said, we can put our neck on the line, so to speak, for that person or persons, right? So if you have ever been let down or betrayed by people who you trust, whether it's a friend, whether it's your partner, whether it's your parent, or other trusted figure or an institution. Now, since we're talking about marriages, this program is called Prayer for Marriages. We're going to focus on marital relationships, and we're going to intertwine it with regular natural relationship, like with friends, parents, co-workers, church leadership. It all ties in because it depends on where you are in life. If you're a spiritual person, you're a Christian, whatever your belief system is, you have to deal with people, and they have in some form of way let you down or betray you. And so it's a challenge now when you meet someone else. And since we're talking about marriage, if you've been let down or betrayed in the past,
Right.
now you are about to be married, you're dating, you're courting, there are trust issues that now it has arisen in the relationship. And so sometimes a simple thing can trigger you. A simple thing as not responding to a text or a phone call timely can trigger you for something, for that trust issue, to like, oh my God, it's like you may have a deja vu, right? So if it also can interfere with your ability to believe in others. So can what causes us to lose trust in someone? Being let down or betrayed by someone who you trust, whether it's your friend, whether it's your spouse, husband, wife, and especially since we're talking about marriage, if it's infidelity, oh gosh. Woo! If it's infidelity, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and we've taught on infidelity in depth on before you say I do. That's the other platform that we do. So we've taught on that in depth, and infidelity can cause you to even break up your marriage, right? It can cause you to break up your marriage because you sometimes you can't seem to get over what happened. And is that normal? In some cases it is, but the trust issue stems from maybe something that happened in your past and you never got over it, so you still hold on to it, right? And as we move further, we're going to see how things that happen in our childhood play out in our adult life. It plays out in our adult life. So like I said, this research that I did, that I looked up, it was just done June 2023, right? In Psychology Today. It was just done. So it's fresh, hot off the press. Sometimes when I get these topics, like things come in my head and I'm like, or someone say, talk about this, and I go and I research it. I don't just like come on and wing it. No. Both Evangelist Nikki and myself, we go and we do our research because we want to come with facts to you. Now, the only thing I did not get was the statistics. And don't worry, we will get that for you within the next couple of weeks. All right. Go ahead, Evangelist Nikki. What do you want to add to this?
You're absolutely right. Especially in relationship, trust it is. necessary for a relationship to grow. Some people say it is the key, it is the glue, because one definition dictionary out there defines trust as a belief in the character, strength, or truth of someone or something. So you're trusting that person wholeheartedly to be where they said they would be, do what they said they would be, because all we have is a personal word. And once they give you the word, then you expect the action to follow, right? So trust is very pivotal in any relationship. Yes, we're talking about prayer for marriage, but relationship overall, you have to have that foundation of trust so you can be vulnerable. Consider what it might be like in a life without trust, not having trust. You want to share a secret with your spouse, but feel unsure. You know what I mean? Can I trust this person not to use it against me? Right? Your spouse checked their message, like Evangelist said, from a friend. And if you already had trust issue, you started triggers. And I know when we're speaking tonight, a lot of folks might be triggered. So we do recommend therapy. We have a lot of therapists that we can recommend you to. Or their evangelist is a trained counselor. So you are in good hand tonight. You are in good hand because, like I said, this is a topic that triggers a lot of person. But do not be dismayed. We're here to help you understand where these triggers are coming from, so we can be whole and we can be healthy and we can be healed. So, these are things that triggers off a lot of people. Relationships are difficult in itself alone to maintain. So try to keep up on what your spouse is doing. That's a full-time job. And you cannot be around that person 24/7. So every minute of your life becomes a nightmare if you don't deal with your trust issue. You live in anxiety, you live in frustration, you get the symptom of high blood pressure. Some people say they have PSTD, so many different illness associated when your trust is not being resolved. And one of the key things I want us to take away tonight before we even get deeper in tonight, I want to echo this out there. And like I said, this might be a trigger for some folks. You might not be close to your healing yet. You might just find out your spouse is, there's infidelity in your relationship. You might find out, you've been hurt by somebody that was very close to you, right? So we understand some people, the layer might be just fresh and we're just peeling back a bit of it right now. You're not there to recovery yet, or you have not yet sought in recovery, but you are at the right place. The minute you're here, please don't tune out because you're triggered. Stick with us. We're here to help you get better. But be mindful. Take this with a grain of salt. Trust is never the first issues in a relationship.
Right.
And a lot of folks get separated. A lot of folks get divorced. A lot of folks said, you broke my trust. Is my, my boundaries. You break this, that's it, and we get it. But you have to understand what is the primary issue that causes you to lose your trust in this person. Is the root cause being addressed? And if those have not been addressed, no matter how many therapy, no matter how many relationship you've been in, you are that same person until you deal with you. And I want to tell you something, and I don't want y'all to stone me, but the trust issue that is broken and being triggered by your spouse is never the issue. Your spouse is never the issue. And until we get to the primary issue, which is self, what is causing me to trigger? What have happened? Who let me down? Who was I vulnerable to and they disappointed me? Because one of the things we go in a relationship expecting this person to be our be all. And they're human. And if we fail ourselves at times, sometimes we don't even come into our own self 100%. Right? Think about trying to get to the gym like myself. You have to have an accountable partner at times. These days I don't feel like it. And I have to tell myself going to the gym or being healthy, eating healthy and staying healthy and all of that and being well. It's not about feeling. It's about commitment and discipline and taking accountability for self. So if your trust issue is being triggered by someone else, yes, somebody else hurt you because we're mortal beings. You have hurt somebody at time. I have hurt person knowing or unknowingly, right? Not intentionally at time, definitely. We're not going out of our way to do that, but things that we might do, we think we're doing right by somebody else and we end up hurting them. That can cause a trust issue. We're trying to do the right thing when someone cheated on us, right? And we trying to have a conversation and stuff. They start flipping it, doing the blame game, pointing finger and all of that, and that triggers off something again, probably from childhood or the previous relationship. And you start seeing the same thing again. And you said, oh, everybody is the same and they're all going to hurt me the same way. Why? You haven't been with everybody. Everybody have not hurt you. But that's the lie we tell ourselves when we don't want to deal with the root cause of our trust issue. Trust issue is pivotal And we have to address it in ourselves first before we trying to beat down someone else that you break my trust. I can't trust you. You have to examine you first before we can even go there. So it is important for any happy, healthy relationship that the foundation is critical to build on trust. Trust is as important of hearing, a lot of folks want to hear I love you. Being told that I trust you is as important as I love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I trust you, because once you trust that person, because I could say you love me, but you're disrespecting me behind my back. You're talking, you know what I mean? But once I trust you, you're gonna do the right thing by me.
Right.
You are going to protect me in front of my face and be on my back. You're going to cover me. So a lot of people, I just want to hear I love you. But a lot of people say the word I love you, but their action, doesn't show that. But when you trust somebody, you have that confidence that wherever you are, or wherever they are, when they're present or not, they're going to respect you. They're not going to disrespect you. They're not going to put you out there. They're not going to do things that they know would not make you feel safe. And that's what we all want it to be when we trust somebody. Why we trust you to be safe with you, to be vulnerable with you, to be your confidant. And when that is broken, like Evangelist alluded to, it's like a broken glass. It will never be the same again. We can build and get better, but it's going to be a new relationship. It's not going to be that same relationship. And guess what? It takes work, not on your partner. Hear me well. The work is not on your partner first. It's on self. If you're trying to drag your partner to therapy and counseling and all that because they broke your trust, it's not going to fix you. The only way you can fix you and your trust issue is to deal with the root cause. And if you need help, like we said, we have trained counselors here on call from small fee that is ready to help you with this trust issue journey, because we want you to be whole. Right, Evangelist? We want to put those broken pieces better. Not what it was, but better than what it was before.
Yeah, and I want to say this because Evangelist Nikki is hitting on it, right? She's saying, trust issue don't just come up like that. So where do they come from? Where do trust issues come from? That's the $1,000,000 question, right? Where do it come from? So the research that I saw said trust issues often come from early life experiences and interactions. Often, it says, often comes from early life experiences and interaction. If you have issues with abandonment, it's because as a child. Now, I think at one point I felt like my mom abandoned me because when she migrated to the United States and left me with my with family members, I was not mistreated, but I was young, so and I wanted my mother. Now, even though she didn't abandon me, I felt like that, so I developed some kind of hard to let people go, like trust issues. Like if somebody come, now they're gonna leave, I'm gonna have a problem with trusting, right? I'm gonna have a thing. And if I had allowed that thing to keep breeding and keep growing, and I think it probably did at some point in my life until I was reunited with my mother, right? And so trust issues come from early life experience. Some persons might have been molested, abused, right? And you can't trust adults, right? You're a kid, and even somebody older than you, they might not have been an adult, but it might have been someone a few or more years older than you that have hurt you, that have caused you pain, that have caused you now to be withdrawn and not trust the next person that come to try to be friendly. So now it causes you to go into a shell and become isolated from a young person. So where do trust issues from? These experiences are often take place in childhood. Some people do not get enough care in childhood. That's an issue, right? And so we're now adults and married, and something our spouse does triggers something from when we were a kid. What happened? Maybe they're going out of town all of a sudden and didn't prepare you, didn't give you enough time to say, hey, babe, my job sending me out of town. You knew 2 weeks ago, but somehow it slipped your mind till the night before, or maybe the morning of. You were reminded, oh, I'm going out of town today. That person may feel abandoned, right? So what? It's not that they don't trust you, it's because they have had abandonment issues. So now that's a trigger. Lord, help us tonight. Help us tonight. Because there's so many things going on in us, right? And Evangelist Nikki says something, and I think we often say it here on Prayer for Marriages. We tend to want to make our spouse make us happy. No, you have to make yourself happy. You have to trust you. You have to get those little innuendos and things that re-trigger what has happened to you. You have to get help with that, right? And it causes us now having trust issues causes barriers also in a relationship, right? Someone you didn't get enough care and you weren't accepted. Say for instance, you got I remember and this could be I could have had trust issues from this. When I migrated to the United States and I went to a school, I was teased. They tried to bully me, but because I was a fighter, it didn't work, right? Those of y'all that went to high school with me, I used to fight in Lang City High School, right? I won fight, right? And so, but the that experience of me being bullied or teased because I had an accent now, it can cause stuff in me not to trust people, not to want to speak, because when I open my mouth, fear of somebody's gonna laugh at me, right? So many things that can happen in our early childhood, our younger years, now are resurfacing now that we're married, that we're dating, that we're courting, that we're in a relationship, right? That we're at work. We're developing interpersonal friendship. Now, Evangelist Nikki and I are friends, and she did something, and I'm re-triggered. She teased me about something. I said something, and I said it with an accent, and she's teasing me. That re-triggers now what happened with my childhood. So a lot of different things can trigger us. Yes. And so trust now is not necessarily the root cause, but a fruit that bore from the tree of what has happened to you. Yes. And it just resurfaced. And because it's resurfacing now and you don't know how to handle it, now whatever your spouse does, whether it could be something small or something major, it just sends you in a frenzy, right? Lord, look at the time already. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When we can get over, and I'm not saying get over it like get over it right today, but when we can come to a place to regain trust, we have to do it within ourselves to start our healing journey. Yes. And Evangelist Nikki alluded to it. When we don't have trust, and when there's mistrust there, we have to look at the man in the mirror, look at the person that the fingers are pointing back at, and we have to get ourselves together so that we don't bleed out on our spouses. Now, because our spouses triggered something in us, we tend to take it out on them instead of getting to the root cause. And listen, it's no way I'm not minimizing or I'm not making your situation trivial, because having an issue with trust is very serious, and I take it serious because I don't take trusting someone lightly. It could be in a friendship. I share my secret with Evangelist Nikki, and God forbid we fall out. Now here she is spreading all my business. That's a trigger. That's a trigger. When I say it's a trigger because we tend to now, the wound now becomes open. Yes. The wound is open and it's like it was freshly cut. Why? Because it was never dealt with at the initial stage. And so we meet people and we get mistrust upon mistrust upon mistrust upon mistrust, and it's just building. And it's just building. And it's just building, 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 building. And somehow we tend to suppress it. I was telling someone
Yes.
this morning, when we don't deal with the
Deal
situation,
with.
we suppress it, and then now we're in a relationship. We love this person dearly to our heart, and something triggers it. Oh, the gates of Hades cannot prevail against it, right? And so I want to encourage us, as Evangelist Nikki alluded, say, listen, if you're being triggered by this session tonight, please inbox us, reach out to us, email us at marciabakerministries@gmail.com and schedule a session, because you need to be healed. Because if trust is not the issue, that's just a fruit from the tree that was planted, and there are many branches on it, and trust is one of them. And when you don't have trust, other branches grow from it. Lord have mercy. Trust me. We're just on point number 3, right? And the time is up already. So I want us to, we're going to take our time and deal with this, because too many persons are dealing with mistrust. And what happened is, you tend to be stuck in the moment that the first mistrust happened. And everything else just built on top of that. So we're here to help you. We're here to help you. And somebody said, speak louder, apostle. I'm not an apostle. I'm not an apostle. Evangelist is fine, but I understand. Persons, they just love to throw titles out there. Sister Marcia is fine, but I understand you. Bless you, Lady Bethia. But when we can't trust fully, and if we are about, if we are in the kingdom, and if we are in leadership position in the kingdom and have trust issues, we bleed out on the congregants. Lord have mercy. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother situation there, because we tend to bleed out on the people who did not cut us. Lord help us. Lord help me. Listen, we're going to come back next week and we're going to help you. Thank you, Pastor Cydia. Listen, I want to help you. I want to help you. And just tune in next week again at 7 p.m. We're going to come back with part 2. And if it goes into part 6, we're going to deal with it, because we cannot listen. Yes, this program is prayer for marriages, and our goal is to help and restore families and couples, marriages, one family or one couple at a time. So there's a couple watching now that's having trust issues, and we reach you, we got your attention, we have done our job for the week, right? Because if we can just reach one a week, we have completed our assignment for this particular week. All right. If you are having trust issues and you're not yet married, reach out to us. Trust and believe me, you're going to need the help. You're going to need the counsel. Even if you don't want us to counsel, we can direct you to someone who will be able to help you, right? To deal and start your journey to wholeness and wellness, so your relationship, not only your marital relationship, will be well, but your interpersonal relationship. When we come next week, Evangelist Nikki is going to lead out, right? I'm putting her in the hot seat now from now, right? Listen, let me tell you something. This topic it's near and dear to me. And we're going to pick up where we leave off, right? Where do trust issues come from? Listen, reach out to us, inbox us, send us a message, right? Share this session. Share, if you're on Facebook, share it. If you're on the Zoom, share the link with somebody for next week. If you're on Facebook, share it. Share it on your page. Share it into the multiple groups that you're in, because somebody somewhere is dealing with trust issues. Anytime we bring up a topic, somebody somewhere is dealing with it. Right? I was speaking to someone this morning. They were dealing with it. Hence why we're talking about it. Right? So we're here. We're here for the people, all right? So we love you. We thank you. Listen, If you're not already part of our Thursday night community, you want to come and join us this Thursday night. Your very own evangelist Nikki will be our presenter, and our topic is going to be, is the modern day man ready to provide for the modern day woman? Look out for the flyer. It will be out soon. Trust me, Thursday night community. If you already have our Zoom link, it's the same link. Meet us at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Amen. God bless you. God keep you. We love you. Have an awesome evening. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Have a good evening, everyone. Yes.